Well, as the COVID-19 situation continues to evolve, today's address to the nation by Singapore's Prime Minister Hsien was his third on the pandemic. The multi-ministry task force also spoke about new measures to break the train of transmission. For a closer look, we're joined by Dr. Annelies Wilder-Smith, visiting professor from NTU's Chian School of Medicine. Doctor, thanks very much for joining us this evening. We've heard the earlier announcement by PM Lee, as well as the details from the multi-ministry task force. Is what they're calling drastic circuit breaker measures. How big of a difference will these measures make in flattening the curve, which is what we're in the business of doing?
So indeed, Singapore was very successful in keeping the curve flat for more than 2 months. But now we've seen a spike, and this calls for more stringent measures. So I must congratulate the government for this decisive, more stringent measures. And they are needed to make sure that we are not getting out of control.
Doctor, will the latest measures then help prevent the spread from asymptomatic cases, though?
So indeed, the asymptomatic transmission and also transmission from pre-symptomatic or those with very mild symptoms, that is the main concern of this tricky virus. And indeed, the more measures we have where we break transmission by reducing the amount of contact time between persons, the better we can also suppress all transmissions from asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic persons.
Doctor, I'd like to ask you about something that's quite clearly concerning the task force, and that is the number of unlinked cases that has been rising quite drastically in recent days. Why is it such a difficult thing to solve?
So if you have cases that have no link, it is indicative, it suggests already widespread community transmission, which then is of more concern. As long as you can still identify your cases, you can also do contact tracing. But if you have problems identifying the chains of transmission, then you have community transmission. And this is the reason why the government now is imposing stricter measures.
So saying that these stricter measures are going to be in place for a month, are you confident that these measures will actually help to flatten the curve, bring the numbers down?
I am confident. It is simple maths. You simply need to reduce the contact time between people, and stay-at-home policies, closing businesses, gatherings is the only measure that we have at hand. It's old-fashioned, but it's the best measure that we have at hand.
Right, and just on that note, it does seem like these drastic measures are it. I mean, is there anything else that can be done if these drastic measures don't take the numbers down?
So I'm totally confident that it will flatten the curve. I'm not totally confident that it will bring it down to zero. In case, indeed, we are not able to bend the curve further, we may need to implement even more stringent measures. But I'm confident that the next 4 weeks will be successful.
What kind of measures would you classify as being more stringent in this case?
The measures that were used in Wuhan, which was a real total lockdown where people were had to stay at home, were allowed only every second day to go out for 10 to 30 minutes, had cards to allow them to go out. These would be even more stringent and more painful measures, and I hope that we will not need to resort to those even more painful measures. Measures are already painful as they are.
Yeah, indeed. Doctor, thanks very much for joining us this evening and lending your expertise to this matter. We've been speaking there with Dr. Annelies Wilder-Smith. She's a visiting professor from NTU's Chian School of Medicine.